Bar Heights here, Supreme Court's week 4 of our play dates, coming off a just tough defensive struggle. Watching Pinson Valley and James Clemens. I'm joined by Coach Frankie Sullivan and guard Pierce Roper. Coach, tell me how it went out there. It was one of those struggles, but you played in a lot of these. I guess it's kind of expected.
Yeah, I gave the guys off yesterday for Juneteenth. We had a long weekend, 4-day weekend for most of the guys. No excuses. We played like we just got on the bus, and that's exactly what happened. We played sloppy. Usually happens. Pinson Valley is a team that we struggle with because they just play super physical. I like the way they play. It's a good feel for us every year. And we just try to play the best competition all summer. Wins and losses doesn't really matter. We're just trying to see what kind of guys that I have on my team and who we need to get rid of and who we can put the ball in.
So, Pierce, talk about this guy a little bit and his intensity. Since day one, since he got to James Clemens, what has been different?
Well, when I first got on Varsity, he told me that his coaching wasn't going to be different. It was going to be the same. He just wasn't going to do no more yelling because when he first was the head coach, he was doing a lot of yelling, but he realized that wasn't working. He just take you out the game now. Like, he won't even do no talking. He'll just take you out the game. But if you don't come out with intensity, then that's one thing that's wrong with our team. We don't come out with energy. Like, he always has to bring the energy for us, and we had to bring the energy for ourselves. But he's a great coach, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't rather have another coach.
Well, it's a pedigree, and I have a personal connection, Frankie, with where he's from, both from small towns. RC Hatch beat me in the state finals, and you never get over it, hammered me. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the pedigree of when you play. People don't realize, this guy was all-time leading scorer in the state of Alabama for a long time. Played his 6 years varsity?
6 years.
7th grade through 12th grade, he played varsity for RC Hatch, multiple state championships. I saw it. I saw it in Birmingham this year. I saw RC Hatch basketball at the 7A level, and I made the statement that it was a scary time. Can you just talk about some of that pedigree and how that, whether it's practice, whatever you want to talk about, what you learned and what you're implementing into James Clemens?
When I first got to varsity, my coach told me, I started in the 7th grade, started my first game. He was like, I'm literally starting you to make other players go. And that was his thing. He played a lot of mind games, military guy, Coach Eugene Mason, God rest his soul, legend. He just told her, like, and then, like, the guys he played in, Dexter King, those guys raised us, Irwin Dudley, Clifford King, all those guys, they raised us to be dogs. Like, you come out, if you don't want to come out to win, you stay at the game. And we also, what got me to going to how I am now as a player, we didn't play games to 24. We play games to 100. So every day you come in the morning time, you play from 9 to 12. The game will probably get like 2 games in, and you're going to play to 100. And then you come back again from 5 to 8. And we have some guys who work, get off work. The older guys, they come beat you up.
Yes.
And then you still going to 100 guys beating you up all the time. And coach philosophy was, if you can take grown men every single day, kids are no problem to you. So he molded us into us. And then always people think it's arrogance of how I talk and what I believe in. I wholeheartedly believe if you do it in practice, the game should be super easy. And that's how we did. Our practice was usually 2 hours of, like now the sports scientists and everybody says you shouldn't do it. We practice with weight vests on.
Yeah.
We had weight vests on, ankle weights on your arm, ankle weights on your ankle.
Diversity.
And then you doing that all the time. Or then coach will put 7 versus 5. You got the vest on, the first 5 got the vest on, nobody else has the vest on. So like stuff like that builds mental toughness that I got to fight through diversity. So you get in the game and you're down 10 in the 4th quarter. You're like, they get relaxed now. They get in foul trouble. We win that game by 10.
Right.
So I know, like my last game, I tell people all the time, and one of my best friends called me. He's like, they said whoever gets the best record is gonna win Mr. Basketball. Me and Jermichael Green.
Yeah.
Jermichael definitely deserves it. I'm making it all
As did Brian
right. So whoever had the best game is gonna do. I said whatever Jermichael does, I'm gonna put 20 on top of it, and I'm also gonna score 50. And he was like, man, that's a record. I said, I'm going for the record tonight between you and I. But that was my mentality. I had played so much basketball in high school that I was like, high school kids are this. It got easy. You know, you were shooter, you were scorer.
Absolutely.
It got easy to score. The things that you could not control was the officials and how your teammates wanted to play that day, stuff like that. But if you brought the energy, that's what I tell them all the time. If you're the point guard and you can make other people better, the game becomes super easy to you. So I think that's what the pedigree for us. The RC Hatch is always who want to be the next guy. You want to become a legend, and the only way to become a legend is to do everything. So that's what our motto is.
That's right, and but you saw it, and that's the thing. So Pierce, last year it was a heartbreaking loss. To lose it that way that's one of the greatest games that I've ever seen in the BJCC. Now I know it didn't turn out how y'all want to, but Pierce, how do you come back from that as a player and a leader? And that's the first question. Second part of the question is, what does this team have to do to overcome what happened in that state championship game, to make those plays that you got to make to win? What was the reasoning, and what went wrong that could have gone right that you got fixed?
We just got to execute. Like, if we would have executed the last play, then we would have either been in overtime or we would have won that state championship. But we just go hard in practice every day. And my expectations, I be staying in the gym. I go to the gym, then go to work, then go back to the gym. And then I texted Coach Sullivan. I was like, can I stay in the gym this summer? He told me he got me, so we just been in the gym. And he's been getting my guard skills right and stuff. And then he be teaching me some stuff I don't know how to do or can't do. And I'll just be looking at him like, everybody ain't go to Auburn, so.
No, everybody didn't. But everybody wanted to.
Yeah.
But what was it like, though? I told people after that game, I did 5 of the 7 or 10 of the 14 state championship games. The intensity and electricity in that game was unlike any of them. Now, it is 7A, obviously. What was it like playing in that type of intensity? Is that the most intense game you've ever played in, Pierce?
Probably. We had the whole state. We had the whole state down there. And then, but I wasn't even nervous going into the game, though. I was just playing my game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't nervous, but it was, the whole state was down there. And it was just, after every bucket, the crowd going crazy.
It's electricity in basketball, and unless you've ever been in a game or played around that kind of stuff, I know. Back to the point he made about everybody not being able to play at Auburn. Every kid grows up thinking, wanting, hoping that they're going to play in the NBA. Most are not going to. Most are not even going to play in college, much less SEC or wherever. How tough was it going through that gauntlet every single day, and how difficult is it to make them understand, Frankie, just how hard it is every day in the SEC?
And it's the thing I got told this in a barbershop a long time ago. And that's once again, our barbershop talk is usually after a game, because we're a small town. You go in, the grown men tell you exactly how it go. And a guy told me 2 things. He told me was in the barbershop. He was giving us a lesson. He was an all-time great, R.C. Hatch. He was Marvin Hunter.
Yep.
Marvin Hunter. Rest his soul, passed also. Marvin said it's 3 things that every basketball player has to have. The okay players, they like it. The good players, they love it. The great players live it.
Wow.
So when we came out and
write it down.
And so when he told me you play basketball a lot, you love it. I can tell you love it, but do you live it? Do you study the players you're about to play? Do you study the guys that's in front of you? What are you doing to get better every single day? What are you adding to your game every single summer? So every summer I made sure I added them to my games. When I got to college, I was like, this is tough. I'll never forget my first game we played Sam Houston State. I'm like, wow, we Auburn, we finna beat the crap out of them. That was the most physical game I had ever played in my entire life. I'm talking from the time the clock started to the time it ended. I got home and I had the pinching situation where people do it in college. My arm was so sore that I had to put it in an ice bucket after the game. But it also taught me the little tricks and trades of this is what it's gonna be every single night. So take care of your body.
Yes.
Make sure you don't skip reps in the weight room. Don't skip reps when you're running. Get extra shots up. I ain't talking about going in the gym shooting 1,000 shots at slow speed. Gain speed, 500 shots. It's different than shooting 1,000 and not gain reps. So stuff like that, it got me into it. And once I figured out that I was a bigger guard in SEC, and people started
physical folks.
Literally, it got to the point where when I knew the game had changed for me to play, I never forget to play LSU, and they ran the flex. Everybody ran the flex. So Marcus Thornton hit me so hard in the back of the head. I was like, that's how it is. So when I figured out that's what it was. I was like, this summer I'm gonna pack on 10 pounds. Then my sophomore year, the physicality of the game got so easy, just me packing on. And from getting bullied, I became a bully. And it usually
I never got to do that.
So people don't understand. Like I said, my body style. That's what I tell them all the time. He has a frame that can be so deadly to people because nobody you come in the house and somebody always doing this to you all the time. You eventually,
Marcus Muller.
There's only so many times you can take a guy and continue you like this, and then before they fold. And if you got muscle mass behind that, usually they're gonna be the ones that wear down. And those same shots that shoot from half court, they start to airball, or then they free throws be short. So I played the mental game with that, and I think that physicality of the game with Quintez Robinson, Josh Dollard, those guys put me in a situation to all of that. We played one-on-one, full court.
Yeah.
Picking up full court. Kids don't do it anymore.
Go.
And then no foul call. Defense call foul for you.
That's it.
And then when you play that way, you understand how to play defense and offense that way. It usually prepares you to a different level than other people. That's why I think in my career, I don't talk about it much because I think it's self-evident of what I did. But I think the best thing about me was just learning from other people, man. I'm constantly, like right now, I told them my first year, I'm yelling, fussing all the time, going home with headaches every single day. My wife was like, either you gonna stop coaching or you gonna stop yelling. There's no either or between us. Because like they gonna kill you or I'm gonna kill you.
One to two.
One and two. So 1 and 2. So I was like,
smart man, right there. Yelling.
So I stopped yelling and I told them, I'm just gonna pull you out the game and I'll give you a response. You come ask me what you did wrong, I'll give you the answer. Then you want to do that, change it or not, that's on you. Because what I can't do is coach effort and still coach basketball. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I know people like saying, you say we bring RC has a 7-8, but if you go somewhere and it works, why stop it?
Why would you ever stop it?
And I think a lot of people get caught up in the hype of they're running this guy ball, this guy do this guy does that, it works. But you don't have those type of players. I can't do that. But what I can do is I can teach you defense, I can teach you physicality, and I can get anybody to do that. Well, they're not just me, great coaching staff. I talked about that a lot. My coaching staff, the guys does a phenomenal job, and places that I'm weak at, they're very strong at. So that's what I think a lot of people shy away from. They don't want to be the weak guy in the room sometimes.
Correct.
But usually when you let the weakness leave your body, you become stronger. So I learned a lot from those guys. I got a bunch of older guys, Coach Matt Noah, Chris Phillips, and Coach Hunt. All those guys, they just put stuff in me also how to talk to people. Right. Like my mouth is real flip when it comes to people being disrespectful. Sometimes just walk away. I'm not really a walk away type guy. If you address me somewhere, I'm gonna address you right there. Yes. I think that's a bad thing in a situation where my kids need to see better. When that's why I got better at that. And now I just address you man to man. You can't have a conversation with a grown man over a beer or over a drink or over a meal, whatever have you. Like, we're all grown here. If you can't have that, and I'm not talking about to just bash one another, but get an understanding.
Can't respect game.
That's it. Like, that's all I ask from people is like, if you're gonna say something about me or you're gonna do something or say Frankie's this way, that way, get to know me personally, and then once you don't like me, then we both not address one another. It can be a simple fist bump and keep it moving. Or it can be a great conversation, and we can do that too. It's up to you.
Well, I didn't like you because you were from Varsity. I don't like nobody, but now that we got to know, and like it was in Auburn, we spent some time together, we was in Auburn together. But all right, Pierce, give it to me. Storybook season coming into this year. Write it out for James Clemens. Think about the schedule. You think about how does this season need to go for you and your teammates, and what do y'all have to do to come back to go play and bring back that blue mountain.
We need to work hard every day. There's no days off. Like I learned that last year. There was no days off. And like he would have us coming in, like when school was out.
Yeah.
Like he would try to get us in on weather days and everything. Like it was no days off. And then we got to bring our own energy. And then he can't coach effort, so we got to bring the effort. And if we just bring them three things, then we're gonna be straight. Like then we got to handle adversity well too. It was as soon as we got to Wallace, it was a lot of adversity. And then we played against Oak Mountain, which they won state the year before, so they got every call. But we got to get our respect. So I've been learning that ever since I got moved up. Like you got to earn your respect. Like they just not gonna give it to you. You gotta earn it.
I think that's a great place to end this interview. And Coach, thanks as always. It's just all our conversations are always high-level basketball, and they're hungry. And Pierce mentioned it. People started really paying attention, I think, after that Oak Mountain game. James Clemens is here to stay at 7A, y'all. Definitely as long as this guy's here. Thanks, Frankie. Thanks, Pierce. And we look forward to following you guys throughout the course of the year. And thanks for coming to Ask Spring Course.
Appreciate it.